to them. He never threatened them. He just wanted to be left alone. They were fully committed to their crimes. Let them be fully committed for the consequences. Your Honor, I'm standing here for you as the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, asking you to please give all three defendants who are responsible for the death of my son the maximum punishment in this court, which I do believe is life behind bars without the possible chance for parole. Thank you.
You can just, you can't imagine the pain that this family is feeling, and you understand the sentiments, certainly wanting the maximum possible punishment for these three individuals. We know that life is mandatory, according to the statute in Georgia, but the question is whether or not there would be potential eligibility for parole. That's not saying what a parole board would do. They still got to go in front of the board. There's a decision as to whether or not it's granted. But of course, they don't want that possibility to even exist for these defendants. Let me bring in someone who knows a lot about criminal defense work. Attorney Don Milarsik. He practices in the Akron-Cleveland area in Ohio. He teaches trial advocacy, really a master of his craft, doing everything from minor misdemeanors to death penalty representation. Don, a great question coming from our control room was about why these defendants didn't call any witnesses who were family members like the Arbery family presented. And I thought that'd be a great one for you to discuss and shed some light on that and what goes into a decision on what witnesses and what arguments to put before the court in a case like this.
You know, Julie, it's a great question. And if I was the defense attorney on behalf of Mr. Michaels and Mr. Bryant, I would have encouraged them not to have family members testify at the sentencing hearing. The attorneys can stand up and talk about your client's history, talk about his work history, his lack of a prior criminal record. But this case in particular is one that I would not want family members to be associated. So there is a price. There is a toll that family members would pay, I believe, if they stood up in defense of Mr. Michaels and Mr. Bryant, and in weighing the cost, I think the defense attorneys made the right decision to encourage family members not to speak, not to call them as witnesses.
I want to really tap into your legal expertise some more with what's ahead for these guys in the federal case. We heard earlier today, the first one out of the gate to say it was Travis McMichael's attorney, and he said something to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing here, that you are not going to hear from my client Travis. As much as we can acknowledge it would be great to hear him being apologetic and explanatory to the Arbery family and to the court, he's got a federal case ahead, and anything that he says on the record can no doubt be used against him by those federal prosecutors. Talk to me about the risk of that. Is that a real, true risk he runs? Or could he get up there today and say, I am really, really sorry for what I did?
You know, I think he could have tried to thread that needle and craft a very careful statement that expressed remorse for the loss of life, that expressed remorse for how this thing ended. I understand why they didn't do that. I don't know that that would have swayed the judge one way or the other. In addition to the trial that's coming up in federal court, of course, Julie, you also have to worry about an appeal. So certainly anything your client would say during sentencing could not only be used at future trials, but also if there is an appeal and there's a retrial, that statement could have absolutely come out and been used against him at a second trial if the Court of Appeals overturns this one.
Such a great point you just made. Don Milarsik in Akron, Ohio for us. Thank you so much. We're going to squeeze in a break. I'm being told the judge is set to take the bench momentarily, and we will learn his decision. Thank you for watching Court TV Live.